I remember once writing an article about a theme park in Shenzhen called Window of the World. I started off by saying that everyone knows that the Eiffel Tower is in Paris and the Taj Mahal is in India, don't they? I then smugly went on to write that these two monuments could also be found in Shenzhen. Little did I know in my ignorance that you can also find the Eiffel Tower and Taj Mahal in Beijing, and I'm not referring to the Café de Paris or a local Indian takeaway either. Located in the Fengtai District of Beijing, about 17 kilometers southwest of Tiananmen Square, the Beijing World Park features 106 of the most famous sites from 14 countries around the world, according to its blurb. Measuring just short of 120 acres, the park, constructed over 3 years from 1991 to October 1993, consists of two parts: a scenic area in miniature displayed according to the position of its country on the map, and a shopping, dining and entertainment area. This entertainment area is situated in an international folkloric village, and the tourist can take an electric train and a motorboat through the park to simulate a trip around the world. Sounds grand, doesn't it? It even looks great in the touristic blurb, guaranteed to whet the appetite of any aspiring tourist to Beijing. Strange, then, that not a single expat I had spoken to had even heard of the place, while my Chinese friends had heard of it but had never actually been there. Since its opening in 1993, the Beijing World Park has apparently received 1.5 million visitors annually. But I have to say that on the day I went, 1.49999 million of them had decided to stay away. The place is practically deserted. Of China's theme parks, the Beijing World Park is outstanding in terms of its exquisite architecture, rich and colourful activities, and cultural atmosphere, the blurb continues. Well, maybe on the other 364 days of the year, but on Christmas Eve there are no activities, colourful or otherwise, and the cultural atmosphere must be taking a holiday that day too. Taking a speedboat, one can have a global voyage. No, they're all locked down for the winter. And if one takes a battery-operated car, he can sightsee around the park. No battery-operated cars. The Special Joy Adventure City is a cinema with the latest technologies. Maybe, but it's locked. By visiting the modern African primitive folklore exhibition, one can experience the life of the original inhabitants of Africa. Sorry, but Africa too is closed. Not that it really matters that much. It makes for a pleasant stroll across the 5 continents, as long as one isn't too fastidious about the level of details of the models. On entering the main gate of the park, visitors enter a life-size Italian terrace garden. How big is life-size, I ask myself. About as big as my back garden in the UK, I guess. It has magnificent stepped buildings, fountains and figure sculptures of the Renaissance, full of European romanticism. The fountains have been switched off, unsurprisingly, for the vicious Beijing winter, while a number of nude statues has one automatically pulling one's coat tighter, as if you expect to see goosebumps on Michelangelo's David clone. Looking out onto what I guess is the Pacific Ocean, you can turn left to Asia or right to Europe and America. In the former, you can find a Japanese imperial villa, the Great Wall, and, my favourite, Yingshan County Wooden Pagoda, as well as Angkor Wat, Borobudur, and other famous Asian landmarks. There's even a very pleasant traditional Chinese garden to wander around. The Middle East has the pyramids, of course, and what are described as the pharaohs of Alexandria, but are actually Abu Simbel. There's also a stone slab with a relief of 3 topless Egyptians, which previous visitors have obviously been keen to touch up, judging by the smoothness of their memories. So it would appear that the Chinese are just as fixated with breasts as anyone else. Just to get the visitor in the mood, there's also a cute fluffy camel, but unfortunately it's a Bactrian or Asian camel, i.e. with 2 humps, not a dromedary or Arabic camel, which has 1 hump. But then, who's to worry, or even care for that matter? No doubt the vast majority of the 1.49999 million visitors won't know the difference. The blurb continues in super over-the-top hyperbole. All these attractions were built with certain accuracy in designs and vivid sculptures, it says. They are such good works of art that even a person who has seen the originals cannot tell the difference. Ha! Okay, now I really must take issue. Surely the copywriters of this stuff have graduated from the Yashu Market School of "these are genuine Armani shirts and Louis Vuitton bags" fame. Either that, or they've never left the Middle Kingdom to see the originals for themselves. But let's not be picky. Over in Europe, the German castle is cute. The Vatican, with the Eiffel Tower in the background, is impressive. Even Pisa's Leaning Tower gets everyone queuing up to get their photograph taken pushing it back up again. The last attraction here is the London Bridge, which connects Europe with America, we are told. Sure enough, there's the Washington Monument, the Capitol, the White House, the Statue of Liberty, and a host of other American landmarks, including the Twin Towers, though without an aircraft about to smack into the side of them. There is, however, an old aircraft of indeterminate vintage propping up the side of the children's play area, but unfortunately it too is locked up. At last, having travelled around the world, your favourite podcaster is in desperate need of refreshment. Thankfully, not all the cafes in the park are closed, and it's time to try out a concoction which seems to be popular over here, consisting of tea with coffee flavouring, coconut, and some gelatinous lumps floating in it. Once you get over the initial shock of an Nescafe to Lipton's yellow label, it actually makes for quite a nice drink. Just outside the World Park, there's an international street for shopping and a rest, where you will find lots of food and snacks and all the flavours from different parts of the world. Except it too is closed. Time instead to take a long trip home, having spent the day overdosing on cultural excitement, the like of which is hard to match. By the way, anyone know of any jobs going for a Yashu copywriter, perchance?